We're speaking today with Dan Gonzalez, Corporate Manager of Virtual Design and Construction at Swinerton Incorporated. Thanks for joining us today, Dan.
Well, thanks for having me.
First off, when did Swinerton first get involved with BIM, and what BIM capabilities does your firm have in-house?
5 to 6 years ago, we started doing 3D modeling using ArchiCAD. We trained our pre-construction people, our estimators, to do the modeling because at that time it was harder to do modeling and it took longer, and we felt that by starting pre-construction we'd have something available to us. 3.5 years ago, I came on board Swinerton, and my first task really was to help coordinate the modeling effort with the Graphisoft team at my previous company, and so it was sort of a good fit. Today, we've actually trained people. We've trained about 15 people in the company to do modeling, and we're doing the majority of it, although we still do on our major projects. For example, Washington Hospital, our Four Seasons hotel project in Denver. We've used the Vico Construction Services as well, so we're pretty familiar with that. But we're bringing much more of it in-house. As I said, we have about 15 modelers in-house. And in the past 3.5 years since I've been here, we've done over 160 projects that range anywhere from, a proposal to full BIM coordination project. We've modeled internally about 47 million square feet, and those 160 projects have a construction value of over $9 billion. So we've done a considerable amount of modeling.
And what are some of the benefits you've experienced with virtual construction on the project?
I really think that what we're getting by virtual construction is better communications among the team members, among the design teams, and with the owner. Everyone is sort of, like the thing I always talk about is everyone's looking at the same elephant. And we're able to discuss problems, get to issues quicker, and as a result, get better answers and decisions by the owners because they truly understand what the issue is. And so I think that there's a collaborative effort that happens among teams. Watching our superintendents, for example, really look at a model and then go out and talk to our subtrades in terms of being able to communicate what needs to be done the next week makes things a lot clearer for everyone. So I think communication, collaboration are the key benefits. Obviously, I think that there's advantages that we get in being able to do continuous estimating, so that we can actually see where the projects change over time, what was the issue or what was the element that took something over budget if we're doing target costing. These are all real benefits to us.
And what are some of the services you're able to extend to owners when BIM is in the contract?
What we're beginning to explore internally is something that we're pretty excited about, which is the whole idea of XD modeling, or being able to do analysis of the models. So doing energy analysis, for example, or doing daylighting studies. We're really big right now in solar, and one of our major areas of development in the future is going to be developing solar farms. And so we're finding that being able to model those and figure out, daylight hitting the panels and stuff is extremely valuable. The other area that we're really excited about is we have a recent project that is under construction right now with NASA. And NASA is building what is going to be the most energy efficient building in the country right now at their Moffett Field Ames Research Center in Mountain View. And we're part of the team there that's not only building it, but we're working with Lawrence Berkeley Labs to actually sensor the building so that we'll be able to analyze not only the predictive side of it, which using Energy Plus, but we're going to then turn Energy Plus around and actually be able to monitor the building and see if it's actually working as it's performed, as it was designed to perform. And so we're pretty excited about that. We're sort of saying that, construction has finally entered rocket science, and I think it's going to be a fun project that we're working with them on. So I think we'll be offering, many more services. Obviously, I think, some people sort of say, well, who owns a model? I don't think that's the question. I think the real question is who manages the model. And I think we'll be able to have longer-term relationships with some of our clients. So as we do future projects, the work between construction and facilities management becomes more seamless.
Great. And what advice would you give to owners who are looking to include BIM in their next project?
Well, I think, we're at a point where, you can't go any day now without people sort of saying they're doing BIM. I think the real thing now is to begin setting metrics. I think if a builder can't sort of say, here are the direct benefits that we're getting in time and cost. For example, we've done metrics on savings of RFI change orders, and we now know that on a major project like a hotel, that we're saving by avoiding a change order $17,000, because that's the average cost. We did some metrics where we found that on 10 major projects that the average cost of a change order is $17,000. On the Ritz-Carlton project, our very first project, we found over 450 change orders that we were able to avoid through the model. So if you do the math, that's about $6.7 million that we saved. The other savings that we're finding that we have metrics on is in terms of coordination efforts. We now know that we have saved over $185,000 on that same project just in reduced meeting time, travel, and not printing all the paper that we used to print in the coordination efforts. So our average coordination meeting has gone down from 5 hours down to an hour and a half. And very often our sub-trades, we use GoToMeeting for those meetings. So people don't even go to the trailer anymore. So everyone sort of stays in their office and coordinates virtually. And that has tremendous cost savings. Plus, it's a much greener way of doing it by not having all those carbon emissions by driving around or flying to sites for meetings.
Thanks so much for taking the time to speak with us, Dan. Do you have any closing thoughts?
Closing thoughts, I really think that for those builders that are anxious to start this, the thing to do, I think, is to, be able to just start on a project, really look and assess what do you see as the risk in the project, and then model to that and resolve that issue and learn by experience. I mean, that's sort of what we did. As I said, we've got 160 projects or so under our belt now, and we really have the ability to do that, but we started with one. And I think that's what builders need to understand is they got to get involved in this stuff. And, you've got to do it by either having, like Vico Construction Services do it for you and shadow them, or, start out really small and do a portion of a project, but you got to get started.
Well, thanks again, Dan.
All righty. Thank you.